Let's have a sesh on Carroll's corporate social responsibility pyramid, sometimes called the CSR pyramid. So Archer Carroll came up with this in 1991, and essentially it just shows the various aspects or expectations that are the social responsibilities of a business. And it starts with the bottom layer, sometimes called the foundations, which is the economic responsibilities of a business and the fact that it needs to be profitable before it can do anything above that. So when we're thinking about being profitable, it needs to have operational efficiency. It needs to maintain its competitive edge. It needs to give returns to its owners and to its shareholders. It could be in capital growth or in dividends. So the economic responsibility to survive is to the stakeholders, that is the owners and the shareholders. Once that is fulfilled, we can move up the pyramid and we can move to the next layer, which is legal responsibilities, the idea that laws and regulations should be met. You could be thinking about following environmental laws, following consumer laws, following employment laws. So stakeholders there that benefit being the employees. And it's the idea that the minimum legal standards are met by the owners and they would clearly be legally responsible for that, so it's important to them. Once that's been fulfilled, the next is ethical responsibilities. Ethical responsibilities being the obligation to do what is right and fair and avoid harm. So we could be thinking here about the impact on all stakeholders. So examples could be to consider communities. You could be using green vehicles. Avoid price gouging. Don't lift the price up when there's a scarce supply beyond what is really just value. So that would be affecting customers. It could be avoid the overuse of zero-hour contracts. In terms of the impact on employees, maybe you have someone that clearly should be on a contract, a full-time contract or a part-time contract, but you're using zero-hour contracts to be more flexible, and it's almost to the point of exploitation. It could be using fair trade for your suppliers in some countries. So you're thinking about the impact on all stakeholders. Now the next layer above this is philanthropic responsibilities and the idea you need to be a good corporate citizen. You need to help society. Maybe you need to think about education, healthcare, volunteer work, and the fact that you might get your employees to engage in that. It might raise morale if they do that. So employees, volunteer work, and helping society is the last layer. Things to think about. Economic responsibilities are the foundations. You will see trade-offs within this. If you try and be more ethical, maybe there's that ethic and profit trade-off and it would affect the lower level. So you need to think about trade-offs that exist in it. It's also important to be aware that while this is the base, the economic responsibilities, it doesn't have to be sequential for the rest of them. And I think that is it. So I'll see you at the next session.